Okay, girls, this is 4C area. The first thing we need to talk about is this conversion of area. Okay, and I'm going to write down, even though I know this is not a millimeter, I'm going to pretend it is for a minute. I'm going to say that's 1 millimeter. I know it's not, but I need to write something bigger than a millimeter to show you something. So I'm going to say this is 1 millimeter. Okay, and that is length. That is length. That's what we used over here, length and perimeter, and these were the conversions for length. So just something that I can measure with a ruler, okay? Area is a lot different. Area is 2 measurements. You know, I have to have a shape. And so I'm going to pretend that's millimeter. And I'm going to draw 1 square millimeter right here. I'm going to try to do it really fast because I don't want to take too long. But now I'm in a different kind of measurement. And when I write 1 millimeter squared, that's the area of this thing. This is the measurement in there, right? Okay, so if I'm going to switch off and say, you know, maybe, can I just change for a minute? Let me make that a centimeter squared. Okay, looks more like a centimeter anyway. So let's say that's a centimeter squared. And let's say I ticked off, and it's going to be really sloppy, but let's say I ticked off where the millimeters are. Do you agree? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I hope I have enough of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that really bad? Okay, and this way also. Let's put this in half and I go 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've made this mess of this, but I'm saying that each little thing here is a millimeter, and so that is 1 square millimeter. So this whole thing is a square centimeter, and this is a millimeter squared. Okay, because there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter for length, but for area, gosh, how many square millimeters? Well, it says here that 1 square millimeter, 1 square centimeter is 100 millimeters. It looks like it, 10 by 10, 100 square millimeters. So my conversions have to all be squared. So before, when I was doing times by 1,000, times by 100, times by 10 on this last page, now I'm squaring each one of those because I'm doing this inside kind of area measurement. Okay, so let's look at this. It says the area of squares, L times L, one side times the other. Area of a rectangle, length times width. They don't even put length here. Length times width. These ticks just mean these are the same length and those are the same length. These ticks, same, 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 same. Okay, area of a triangle is base times height. Now, height is a weird thing. It's a thing that comes up from the base and makes a right angle. Sometimes the triangle looks kind of funky. It's like that, and it goes like that, right? And it goes from the angle this way, and this is the base. It doesn't have to be on the bottom of the triangle. It has to be the thing that the height gets to at a right angle. So that's kind of funny. Okay, and then it's asked you to do some conversions here. So I'm just going to use that thing with my calculator. All right, so here I go. It says meters squared to centimeters squared. Meters squared to centimeters squared. I have to multiply by 10,000 or 100 squared. So I'm going to do 0.248 times 10,000. And I just count the zeros, 4. I move this 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need a space, 2480 centimeters squared. I'm sure you can do that using that chart. I'm not too worried about it. This says millimeters to centimeters. Millimeters to centimeters is a divider. I need to divide by 100. I go here and I divide by 100. Here's the decimal. 1, 2 zeros and 100. So this is 31 centimeters squared. You're more than welcome to use your calculator for this as well. No problem. Find the area of each shape. I always write down the formula. Area equals length times width. I like capital letters. I don't know why. So area equals 6 times 2. I don't care if you put 2 times 6 or 6, whichever first. Doesn't really matter. And I get 12 centimeters squared. I think generally in the world we think of length as longer than widths, but it doesn't really matter. Now, here's my formula. You must write the formula down. And the formula up there says 1/2 times base times height. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the area equals 1/2 times 13 times 7. And I might use my calculator for that one. Okay, I go on and I go 1/2, 1 ABC2 times 13 times 7. Oops, I just put the wrong thing. Can I go back? 7, yeah. And I get area equals 45 1/2. I like it. Okay, if you want it to be a decimal, you hit your ABC key, 45.5. And what is it? It's meters squared. I'm not squaring the number. I'm just showing that it's a different kind of measurement. It's inside. It's not just a line that I measure with a ruler. Okay, last. These are kind of funky because sometimes there's shapes where, you need to take a bit out. So this thing happens to be a rectangle, and I'm going to take off this triangle there. Okay, so a rectangle minus a triangle. So I'm going to do length times width, and then I'm going to subtract this triangle area, 1/2 base times height. Okay, so the length times the width, 10 times 6. Got to be super careful with these brackets. Minus 1/2 times, okay, they didn't give me that base. That's okay, it's 10. And 4. Okay, and if you do that on your calculator, you're going to get 60, and I want you to do it in 2 parts. 60 minus 20 will come up on your calculator, which I should be putting equals, 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 which equals 40 meters squared. Great. Okay, on this one, boy, it seems like stuff's missing. I don't really know. I'm going to put some things in. I know that's 3 millimeters. And I know if this is 1, and that's what they're telling me it is, and this is 3, that this is 4. Okay, look at it. Horizontal, horizontal, horizontal. The 2 horizontal bits need to add up to that. Okay. All right, what might I do? I think this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go, I'm going to make 2 rectangles. So my first rectangle is 3 times 3. That's this one. It's a square. 3 times 3. This little rectangle, which it looks really bad, I'm adding on. I'm not taking it off. It's part of the thing, is 1 times 1.2. So that's 9 plus 1.2, or 10.2 millimeters squared. All right, off to the races. Your problems are down here.